Alrighty, good morning, folks. This is Jason with the Primal Outdoors channel, and I'm going to admit the title to this video might be a hair clickbaity, but in the same instance, it's not 100% clickbait. And if you give me a moment to kind of explain, we'll get into why I'm just not really going to go out of my way to make snow camping videos anymore. So first thing I want to do is take you guys down a trip of memory lane. I know that some of you are probably new to the channel and you haven't seen some of my older content, and explain to you a little bit where the drive for me to do snow camping videos started from. So back in the day, when I was making the channel and making videos for the channel, and I was a very small channel, I made a video where I went out with my brand new CVT tent, and actually, I wasn't even planning on going out and making a video that day. I actually got the tent that day, and I was really excited about wanting to go out and try it out. But we were in for a big snowstorm, and it was getting late in the day, and I wasn't really sure where I would be able to go because I didn't know what the snow had blocked off or made inaccessible. So I ended up going home. And I started watching some YouTube videos, and I got frustrated, and I was like, man, I shouldn't be watching YouTube videos. I should be out and exploring and, using my new CVT. Plus, I was really excited about the tent, so I really wanted to try it out. So it was after dark. I finally just said, screw it. And I loaded up and I headed out. And I got a few clips, of me driving in the snow. And then I found somewhere where I could access. It was dark. I couldn't even really see where I was at. So I just found somewhere where I could park, and, I talked a little bit in the video, and then I went to bed, and I got up the next morning, and I made a little bit of breakfast, and, I got a video out of it. But the main thing that I was really after is I just wanted to go out and try out my new tent. But I remember thinking as I was leaving that campsite, I was like, okay, well, I got to try the tent, and that was a lot of fun, and, I got some a little bit of a video out that might be good for, 1,000 to 1,500 views, because I was a very small channel at that time. So 1,000 or 1,500 views, I would have been really happy with for that video. But that video actually blew up. And for me, it got a lot of views. Like in the first week, it got like 50,000 views. And I had never, ever had anything anywhere near, that big of a video prior. So to me, I was like, wow, that's crazy. And it really boomed my channel. It really is where my channel got its legs a little bit and started to grow. But I didn't really correlate it necessarily to the snow. I actually correlated it more to the CVT tent that was the draw of that video. But then down the line, I did another video. It was actually the eve of Christmas Eve. And I went up and I wanted to go hiking, find a place to camp, and then I was going to try to go hike up to some mountain lakes, and I thought that would be nice. But as I was going up, it's snowing, and the snow was really coming down, and I got up to where I wanted to camp, and by the time I got camp set up, and I got firewood cut, and I got everything all set for camp, it was already pretty late, and I decided to go to bed, and I figured I'd try to go hiking in the morning. Well, when I got up in the morning, there was quite a bit of snow, and I started getting a little bit anxious on whether or not I was going to be able to get out of there or not. And so I decided to go ahead and just pack up camp and head out. And again, because I really didn't do much in the video, I didn't have high expectations for that video. But again, that one just exploded. It actually got more views than the other video, and I think it's right up there in my top 5 most viewed videos, I think, on the channel at this point. And again, I wasn't, I wasn't really sure. I don't think I locked in at that point that it was the snow and the snow camping that really drove the views. But later on, a couple of years later, I think it was, or maybe it was a year later, I'm not really sure. In 2019, I went camping with Chad from Living the Vanlife, and we were hanging out, and it was around the beginning of November, I want to say. And we were talking about content and content ideas and YouTube and all the things that typically two YouTubers will sit around the campfire and talk about. But one of the subjects that we started to talk about was how well snow videos or videos camping in snow performed. And, you know, we were both in agreement, like those were always our best videos, the ones that got the best content. And at the time, our channels were fairly close in subscribers. He was ahead of me by about, I think, 25,000 subscribers. And 1 week after we did our video together, we had a big snowstorm come into the area, and we both ran out separately and did videos and snow camping videos. And that, I think, in fact, the video I did really well for my channel. And I think where many of you subscribed and, you know, started following my channel is based on this one video where I went out in the truck and I had my little teardrop trailer and of course my 2 passed on dogs. I had those and we were out camping in the snow, and that video did extremely well. And in fact, I think it's my #1 video on the channel of like highest views as far as my adventure videos. I do have some videos that are a little bit higher views for a different reason, but as far as my adventure videos, I think this is my most viewed video on the channel. But at the same time, Chad, he went out and did a video and did a snow camping video. And man, I don't know what kind of secret sauce he sprinkled on that one, but that thing massively blew up. I mean, crazy amount of views in the multi-millions of views. And it really launched his channel and grew his channel. And at that point, I was like really cemented with the idea that, man, you got to get out and camp in the snow. Those are the videos that get the most views, and I have to get out there every time it snows and get those camping videos. No matter what it takes to do it or how much effort it takes to do it, I have to be in the snow and making those videos because those are the ones that get views. And then, of course, seeing how many views that Chad got on his channel really, you know, put this carrot out in front of me. Like, man, I want that to happen for me. Like, I want that kind of success. That would be great to get a video that would just explode like that and really, you know, propel the channel forward.
Another cool trick I learned just by observing Jason from Primal Outdoors build a fire. If you guys haven't checked out his channel, go on over there and check it out. He does a lot of this same type of stuff. He lives and travels in an overland trailer behind a F-250. And he makes a lot of really great content. Anyways, I was watching him make a fire and learned something from him when it comes to stoking your fire along. If you take your fingers and you make just a little window like that, and you blow through it, you can actually focus your breath right into the bottom of the fire, and that helps really, really well in getting that first initial hot burn going.
And so, yeah, over the years, I've just kind of continued to just, every time it snows, every time that there's a little bit of snow, I get out there and try to make a snow camping video. And in fact, even when I got this van back in the day, when it was not 4-wheel drive and just this 2-wheel drive shitter I bought for $2,200 on Craigslist, I went out, the very first video I showed you guys, I had my teardrop trailer still, and I just threw some chains on the back tires and I headed out into the snow. And again, that video performed extremely well doing that. So again, like I said, I've every year, as soon as the snow starts to fly, I chase snow camping videos. Now, I don't want to say that every single one was massively successful. The reality is there was several snow camping videos that I have put out that just did moderately well. I wouldn't say they tanked by any means, but they didn't like just launch or propel me in any crazy way. And in fact, I've never had a video that's done what Chad's video did, which I think has been you know, in the back of my mind. And every time I go out and make a video, I'm always in the back of my mind, I'm wondering, like, could this be the one? Could this be the one? Could this be the one? Now, there's no doubt that other YouTube channels have started to catch on to this as well. And if you watch any type of outdoor related content, once winter kicks in, you start noticing that your watch page is just jam-packed full of snow camping content, from hot tent camping to people going out in their overland rigs. And you got all the banger thumbnails of, you know, people's, you know, setups, being whether it be a tent or a vehicle covered in snow with some kind of, you know, clickbaity title like negative whatever degrees and snowstorm and all these things. And even I, this year, you know, put out a video where I found myself unexpectedly in a snowstorm. I wasn't really planning. I didn't really realized that some snow was coming into the area I was just traveling through. But I found myself up and I was in snow and it started snowing and I thought, man, I really don't feel like making a video right now. I just kind of want to chill in my van and hang out in my wood stove. But I knew that because it was snowing, like I knew what those views would do for the channel. And so I put together a bit of a video, and to be honest, I don't think it was the greatest video I ever made, but I put together that video and it did actually do pretty well. So there's no doubt, like I said, if you're trying to get views for your channel, getting out in the snow is one of those ways if you're an outdoor creator. Now here's the rub. I do enjoy getting out in the snow in the beginning of the season when it's new and it's fresh. It's beautiful, and it is nice to get out and make those videos at that time. But at the beginning of the season, it's like new virgin snow on, clear ground. And that's the snow I personally like to get out in because it's fairly easy to drive through that kind of snow. If you air down your tires, a lot of time you're going to be able to travel through that pretty easily. Where the challenge starts for me is once you start getting layers of old snow and new snow, then that's when it's no longer that fun for me to go up because it's really challenging to get around in my big van here and some of that stuff. And my biggest concern obviously is always wrecking or damaging in the van because it's my home, it's my car, and it's my house. So if this thing gets wrecked, it's not like someone else who has like an adventure vehicle and then they've got a daily in a house somewhere else. If they wreck that vehicle, yeah, it might be inconvenient, but they still have their main vehicle and their house that they can go back to. Whereas if I wreck this, then I'm in really bad shape. So getting up there and forcing myself into situations just to get videos that are going to get great views really isn't that smart, because even if they do get a great view, it's not going to be good enough views to make enough money to cover fixing or repairing this van, most likely. So anyways, that's kind of where I'm at in my mind these days. Is I know we've got a snowstorm coming up, and I know that in the back of my mind I have this massive itch going on that says you need to get up in that and make a video. But this other part of me is like, I don't feel like it. I don't really want to go up there, and I don't really want to deal with that because there's a good chance that even if I don't wreck the van, there's probably a really good chance I'll just find myself stuck. And even though I've got lots of recovery gear and ways to get myself out of those situations, I just don't really want to get into those situations in the first place. So I find that I think moving forward, I want to spend my time once the winter starts kicking in not necessarily warmer climates, but I want to spend my time in areas where there's not going to be a lot of snow. And there's a couple reasons for that beyond just wanting to protect the van and make sure I'm not wrecking it. The other two of the reasons is, I talked about in a past video about wanting to get more into wildlife photography. And quite honestly, those animals aren't going to be up there in the snow either. They're going to be working themselves down into winter range areas where they're going to find more resources to survive the winter. So it makes more sense for me to actually be where they're at, and that's typically going to be out of the snow as well. And then the other one that I talked about in a past video is wanting to get more fishing in. And a lot of the lakes, once you get up in the mountains, they might have some trout and stuff in some of those high lakes, but those are going to be frozen over. And even though going out ice fishing does sound kind of fun, I don't really have the equipment for that, and I really don't have the space to carry that kind of equipment in the van. So it just makes more sense for me to spend my time in areas where I'll find more open bodies of water as well to fish on. So I think, I'm just not going to try to, I think that as a whole on the channel, I'm just not going to do things strictly for views. I really want to enjoy doing what I'm doing, and I want to enjoy making the videos. And if I'm forcing myself to do things that aren't necessarily fun or exciting to me just for videos, then not only am I not having fun, but I'm not having fun making videos. And I think that's where I found myself last year, where another reason why I really considered quitting YouTube altogether, just because I wasn't having fun making content. I really want to enjoy what I'm doing, and if I'm enjoying what I'm doing, I think I'll enjoy making the content more. So anyways, I hope that kind of explains. There will always be snow camping videos on my channel at some point, because like I said at the beginning of the season, it is fun to get in that first snow and have a little bit of fun, and it's beautiful. And then, you know, as the later the season goes on, there's always going to be those chances that a freak snowstorm comes through the spring. We get a lot of those, and so there's always opportunities to where maybe I'm already out somewhere and a snowstorm comes through, and of course I'll take advantage of that, but I'm just not going to force the situation, if that makes sense. So anyhow, guys, that's all I have for this video. If you have any comments or questions, please leave those down below, and if you thought this was interesting in some way, please do leave a like, and we'll catch you guys again outside.